Hi, welcome to my video on Find the Equation of a Circle in Standard Form, Part 1. Find the standard form of each circle. Find the equation, that is. And let's do some examples. And just to remind you that the standard form is x minus h squared y minus k squared equals r squared, where the center is h comma k and r is the radius. So we have the center is negative 3, 4 and the radius is 5. So that's h and k and the radius is r. So it's x subtract negative 3 is a plus 3. We change the sign. Add on y minus k is 4, so it's y minus 4 squared, and we got a r squared, so this is r squared here, so it's r squared is 5 squared, which is 25. And notice we change the sign. When we sub in, excuse me, we have an x minus h and a y minus k, so we're getting the opposite of these signs when we put it in here. And this one, we have h is 6 and k is 0, and we have an x minus 6 all squared, and this is y minus 0 squared, and again r is 9, so r squared is 9 squared, which is 81. So it's x minus 6 all squared. Add on y minus 0 is y, so it's y squared equals 81. In practice, the center is 2, 1, so it's an x minus 2 all squared, y minus 1 all squared, and that's the radius, so it's r squared is 9. And the center is 0, negative 5, so again, just to remind you, that's the h and the k. This is the h and the k. So this is an x minus 0 squared and y plus 5 squared. Now let's take 2 root 3 and squared. So 2 root 3 times 2 root 3. 2 times 2 is 4. Root 3 times root 3 is root 9, which is 3. So that gives us a 12. So it's x squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 12. This equation is standard form. Find the standard form of each circle. That's the find equation, that is. So the equation is, again, just remind you, x minus h all squared, y minus k all squared equals r squared. So the center is the midpoint. So the midpoint formula is m equals x2, you could say x1 if you want, x1 plus x2 over 2, and y1 plus y2 over 2. So the midpoint is we're adding it up. So we could say that this is x1, y1, x2, y2, just to keep it straight. So x1 plus x2 is 6 plus 2 over 2, and y1 and y2 is negative 1. Add on negative 3 over 2, so that gives us 8 over 2, which is 4, negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2. So the midpoint is the center, so the center of the circle is 4, negative 2. Radius is given as 7, so the equation is x minus 4, y plus 2, squared, that is. 7, again, r squared is 7 squared, which is a 49. Again, when you sub these coordinates in, it's an x minus h, so it's x minus 4. And notice when you go y minus k is y subtract negative 2, which makes it plus 2. So you're really changing the signs, what it looks like, because you're subtracting the coordinates. Okay, let's continue. Find the equation of a circle in standard form. And number 2, we have a center of 2, 3, and a negative 1, 7. So we have the center. So that's center is 2, 3. So that's the center of the circle. So that's the h and k. So what we need is the radius. So to get the radius, we use the distance formula, or we can say the radius is the same as the distance formula. So we have y2 minus y1 squared, x2 minus x1 squared. And again, up here, this is x1, y1, x2, y2, and we sub that into the formula. And y2 is 7, and y1 is 3, x2 is negative 1, and we're subtracting 2 squared. So that 7 minus 3 is 4, so 4 squared is 16. As negative 1, negative 2 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. That's the square root of 25, which is 5. So we have the center and we have the radius. So x minus h all squared, y minus k all squared is equal to r squared. So we have the center is 2, 3. So h is 2, so it's x minus 2. Y is 3, so it's y minus 3 squared. And the radius is 5 again. So that means r squared is 5 squared. So it's 25. Okay, we have another one to do now. Again, you can pause your video at any time and work these out before I do. The center is 3, 4, and it's tangent to the x-axis. So the center, that's the h, and that's the k. So the center is x is 3, y is 4, right there. And it's tangent to the x-axis. So the x-axis is right here. So that means it's tangent. So that means it's coming down here like this and is touching. So that is going to, and it's tangent here. So that's 4 down here and there's 4 up here. So the circle goes something like this. There it is. So that's the center. So the center is 3, 4. And because it's tangent to here, it's perpendicular. That means this distance right here is 4. So that means the radius is 4. So the equation is x minus h, so it's x minus 3, y minus 4 squared equals the radius squared, so r squared is 4 squared, so it's 16. So we have the same center this time. It's tangent to the y-axis. So the center is 3, 4 right here. But it's tangent to the y-axis. So tangent means it's intersecting. It's tangent, it's intersecting at a right angle. So it's going like this. So it's going over here and touching at a right angle. So this distance here, so that's a 3, 4. So that distance is 3. So that means it'll be like this. So this distance radius is 3. That's a 3. That's a 3. And that's a 3. So the radius is 3. Because it's perpendicular. So the radius is tangent and forming a right angle. So the perpendicular distance here is 3. So it's an x minus 3 all squared, y minus 4 all squared equals r squared is 3 squared. So it gives you a 9. So just the idea of a tangent. The tangent is perpendicular to. So the perpendicular distance here is 4. The perpendicular distance here is 3. They're the radii. And a couple more to do. Number 4, negative 8, 0, and 0, negative 6 are the endpoints of the diameter. So just have a look at that. Just draw a little figure here. Negative 8, 0. So let's negative 8, 0 is pretend is right here. And 0, negative 6 pretend is here. So they're the endpoints of this diameter. There's the diameter of the circle. So the circle. So that means if they're the endpoints of the diameter, in the middle is the midpoint is the center. So the midpoint of the diameter is the center. So let's find the midpoint. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. And we have the midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. And we sub that in. So we get a negative 8, add on 0, x1, x2 over 2. And we get 0, add on negative 6 over 2. And that gives us negative 4. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. And negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So the midpoint, so we have the center of the circle. C is for center. So there's the center. So if that's the center, then the distance is there. So if that's a radius, so the circle goes like this. So there's the center. And so now we'll use the center, which is C equals negative 4, negative 3. And we'll take another point. Take the negative 8, 0. So we want to find the radius. So the radius, we'll call this one x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's y2 minus y1 squared, x2 minus x1 squared. So it's very important to remember the formulas. And we sum them in. y2 is a 0. Subtract negative 3. Subtract negative 3 squared. x2 is negative 8. Subtract negative 4 squared. So we keep simplifying. So 0 subtract negative 3 is 3 squared is 9. And that's negative 8 plus 4, which is a negative 4 squared, which is 16. Oh, don't need that bracket. So that gives me a 25, and the square root of 25 is 5. So we want to find the equation, and the equation is x, that's a negative 4, so it's an x plus 4 squared. The y is negative 3, so it's a y plus 3 squared. And the radius is 5, so r squared is 5 squared, so it's a 25. So x plus 4, y plus 3 equals x plus 4 squared. Add on y plus 3 squared gives us 25, equals 25. And number 5, we want to find the equation of this circle, and the circle is there. So notice, think of the circle when you have it looking at it as if you're looking through a scope, crosshairs. So we need to find there and there, so we go down like that. And we need to find the middle, because really what we're doing, the crosshairs, is the diameter. So this is this line here, so that's a 5, so that's a 4. right here, that's a 1. That's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is, this line here is y equals 1. And this line here is x equals 4. So x is 4. So this point is on this line. So the x coordinates are all 4. The y coordinates on this line are 1. So a vertical line got all x coordinates the same. Horizontal line got all y coordinates the same. So we have a center that's 4, 1. And if you go from here to here, you go 1, 2, 3. So that means the radius is 3. So the circle is x minus h, x minus 4 squared. Add on y minus 1 squared, and r squared is 3 squared, and r squared is 9. So that's finding the equation of a circle given the information. But it's very important to learn the distance formula, midpoint formula, slope formula, etc. And that's in a previous unit that I did on coordinate geometry. But we're using that to work out the equation of a circle in standard form. That brings us to the end of the video. And if you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video was of some help to you. Bye-bye.